Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening? Welcome to another edition of The Player and the Fan. I am yours truly, David Noel, the player, the coach, and we have our esteemed co-host, Miss Quierra. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little somber today, but being tired and just a little somber.
I mean, I'm not somber. I'm going to tell you that now. I am high lifted in spirits because I'm not going to let these jokers stress me out. That's what I ain't going to do.
I know.
Because again, like we've been talking all year about, you know, this roller coaster ride of a season, one, and then two, the roller coaster ride of the team, like of what North Carolina can do. And they continue to like show us, oh yeah, we could be here. And then 2 games later, they be like, oh no, but we down here.
All right.
And so this ebb and flow of the season kind of now is really expected for real. But I will say this Marquette team, like we talked off camera about, like I told you this team was good a couple days ago before we played them. Like I understand their record right now, and they're like 10th in the Big East and all that kind of stuff. But this Marquette team and their coach, Coach Wojo, coming back to North Carolina, being a Dookie, that kind of deal. Like he was gonna have them boys ready to play. Yeah. And that's what they did. They came out and played, especially in that first half. And it just, North Carolina just couldn't get the reins back.
I have 1,000,001 questions about what's going on with Carolina, but let's just go over the game by the numbers. Carolina lost to Marquette 83-70 yesterday, February 24th at home, their first loss at home of the season. We had 3 players in double digits, Garrison Brooks, RJ Davis, and Walker Kessler.
You big Walk. That's a bright spot. That's a bright spot right there.
For the last
big Walk coming in,
Walker Kessler has been a really big piece of for Carolina. He only played 8 minutes last night, but he's been. Right. You said why?
No, I said right.
Oh, okay. Carolina went 5 from 18 from the 3. They were 15 from 22 from the free throw line, and 37 bench points, 36 points in the paint, 21 turnovers. 21.
Yeah. I got 19 on mine. You got 21?
I got 21 on the stat sheet, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I got 19 on mine. Nonetheless, it's still way too many. And I think that, but the crazy part about it is Marquette had 18. Huh?
Okay, go ahead.
I said Marquette had 18 turnovers.
Okay.
So, like, as I don't want to say as sloppy as the game was, because the game wasn't necessarily sloppy. But I just think, like, we were, like, a couple of those turnovers were charges. A couple of those turnovers was us trying to kick it ahead over the top, missing the pass, throwing it out of bounds. So some of those turnovers you can kind of eat as a coach because you're trying to do what North Carolina does. You're trying to get out and run, that kind of deal. But we're sloppy. Yeah. We're sloppy as a team, and it creeps up on us at the wrong time. Yeah. Like when we need to be disciplined in what we're doing, like because we're down 5. And what normally happens is we get sloppy on that possession, and then we come down and we give up a 3. Right. Like, and then we're like our turnovers and our sloppy play are happening at the wrong times. And that's the concerning part about this North Carolina team. Like we can't seem to grasp. And again, so and this is kind of what I was talking about in the Duke game. When I kept saying, I said, bro, as a coach, I don't like the way we played. Yeah, we won, but I'm telling you, these types of plays that are happening will kill us in another game. You see what I'm saying? And again, time and time again, we continue to do and have sloppy possessions when they matter most. So in this particular game, we would be down 5 and then have a sloppy possession. Now we down 8. We would be down 10, have a sloppy possession. Now we down 13, that kind of deal. So instead of being down 10, cutting it to 7, being down 5, cutting it to 2, that kind of deal. In the Duke game, we had the same type of possessions where we up 10, but the difference is we up 10, but now Duke cuts it to 5. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So like those are the type of plays that North Carolina and that we've been having all season, that I've been constantly kind of speaking about. But again, like it's, and especially in the Hills house, where I'll say, hey, yeah, it was a great win, but like this is the way I'm looking at it. So that's kind of an explanation of how I look at the game and what I was kind of speaking to, where those plays and some of the games that we won can come back and hurt us. And last night it did that.
And you were right. It was 19. I was looking at points off of turnovers, which were 21.
Oh, okay.
So,
That's bad. Yeah. I don't mind that number.
So first question when looking at the stats, what's happened to Armando Bacot? Since that video has come out, I didn't even know his stats during the Duke game, but even still, he's kind of just disappeared.
I'll say this. Games. So last night, as I was watching the game, we missed as many high lows as we got. Mm-hmm. We missed a lot of high lows. Like I'm like, throw the ball, and we would swing it. So as much as we're talking about, and as much as Coach Williams harps on us throwing the ball inside, we're still not throwing the ball inside enough. It's like we got position. You could throw the ball over the top. The big high-low was there all night last night. And for whatever reason, we just weren't throwing it as much as we could have been. Like, again, they got a couple buckets off of it, especially Garrison, but I felt like we could have did it every single time down the floor. It was one time Baycock had one of the smaller guards on him, and we swung it. I'm like, what are we doing? So as much as I want to say that it, like, Armando has to be more aggressive, some of it is too. Like, our guard, we got to recognize what's going on the floor. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Armando.
And he only played 13 minutes last night. Dayron.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, Caleb Love only had 1 point.
That's concerning.
Your point guard had 1 point, but I'm not gonna say a but he did have 7 assists.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But no.
Okay.
No.
There. So
now, I mean, he shot the ball 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. Yeah. Again, man, I don't know. I ain't got no answers. Because, like, we can't. Like, I don't understand how you look, one way, and again, it speaks back to the ebb and flow that I'm talking about. Like, we'll be up here, and the next game we down here. Then you have a game like Duke, and then you have a game like Clemson, then you have a game like Virginia, then you have a game like Louisville, and then you I'm like
all over the place.
Can we find? Yeah, it's all over the place, and that's concerning, simply because you want to have some type of identity going into the NCAA tournament and the ACC tournament, because a lot of this stuff a lot of these last few games are going to depend on whether North Carolina gets into the NCAA tournament. Now, to me, I don't think it should even really be that close. I think North Carolina should be in, like, especially if they win like 2 of these last 3, or I think they should be in. Yeah, will they be a high seed? Absolutely. But I do think North Carolina should be in, just simply because, based alone on how many games they've played, how well they've played in some of these games. But, at the end of and just finding games off the whim, strength of schedule, that kind of deal, kind of all of that really is thrown out the window. Top tier wins, all of that kind of stuff is kind of thrown out the window this year, just because so many of those games got canceled. But at the end of the day, I think North Carolina has to figure out who they want to be. And unfortunately, 22 games in, you still don't know. That's tough.
I was about to say, so who defines that? At this point, has it become too late? Not too late, but has it become, I will say, is it too late? The end of the season is here with 3 games left. You're playing some difficult teams the last 3 games. You're playing a ranked Florida State with
Number
Scotty,
one in the ACC, Florida State. Now
right,
with Virginia going down,
and you have Clemson, no, Syracuse, I'm sorry. You have Syracuse,
Syracuse.
and then you have a turned around Duke team. I'll
Yeah.
give you Syracuse. I do think Syracuse is winnable. But when you're looking at this FSU and Duke team, do you think these last 3 games or those 2 games are they winnable?
So let me say this. First, let me start off by saying this. I know I said that I didn't see the bums winning games without Jaylen Johnson. But these jokers look way better without that man. And that like pains me to say. But I will say this. Sometimes, and like I think me and you even talked about this on camera, I was like, maybe Jaylen Johnson was, and I don't never want to call a kid a cancer, but maybe his, his attitude and maybe his approach was starting to wear on everybody else on the team. And the one thing that I absolutely think that it did, it unlocked the Matthew Hurt that was there at the beginning of the season. Like, and again, as a college basketball fan, I don't even really care if you go to Duke or not. Like, as a fan of the game, I like certain players. Matthew Hurt is one of those guys that I like. I really wished he would have came to us, but he didn't. So he went to the other side, and that's fine. Okay, you go do that. But as a player, I'm a root for you, like, because I like your game, but because of the jersey you got on, you a bum. Right. So he definitely still a bum, but he a good bum. It's like one of those things. Like, so, but I think what ends up happening is, like, you take a kid like that away from the team, that distraction, and then you get refocused. And now them jokers done turned it around, and then Virginia gave them a game. Yeah. Like, so now their season is starting to climb out of that hole, and now they got potential to make the dang on tournament. So with that being said, it's still a rivalry game. It's definitely gonna come down, and we got them at home. So I do think that is a winnable game. Am I as confident as I was the first game? Absolutely not. Do I still think we're gonna sweep them bums? Absolutely yes. But I do think it's gonna be a tougher game than I thought it was gonna be at the beginning of the season. Syracuse, we gotta shoot it.
Yeah.
We gotta shoot it again, but North Carolina plays well against the zone. So that's the only thing that has me in a great place as far as the Syracuse game. And Florida State coming to our house.
Yeah. Last night, someone said that they think that Florida State was going to lose to Carolina at Chapel Hill, and Florida State didn't even have Scotty Barnes last time, and I think he's your
right.
And I don't know. I just
I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. We'd love for it to happen, no question about that, because that'll be a huge win for us. And I think that if we win that game, that'll lock us into the NCAA tournament, honestly. But I think again, like, what North Carolina team is gonna show up? Like, that's the question.
Who is this identity? Who is responsible for the identity of this team? Is it Coach Williams? Is it, I don't want to say Garrison, but I mean, who is responsible for shaping who this team is?
It's a little bit of both. So as a coach, you have your philosophy, you have the type of kids that you want to recruit to your program. And most of the time, those kids kind of embody what you believe in as a coach. Like, if you take is the kid tough-minded? If I believe that I need to be tough-minded, or if I was tough-minded as a player, or if I'm tough-minded as a coach, then that's what I'm going to look for in a kid. Like, but you're also going to kind of not necessarily sacrifice, because that's not, I don't want to say, but yeah, you're going to sacrifice some of your philosophy for like skill talent. So take a Kerwin Walton, for example. Coach thought that he was one of the best shooters to come out of high school last year, and he's proven that now. But we can't guard nobody. So if I want to be some a coach that says I believe in defense, but I need a shooter because I know we got to go to the other end, then that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to do. So when it comes to the identity of the team, it is partly on the coach, just simply off of the kids that he recruit, but it's also on the team itself. I can go back to 2006, my senior year at North Carolina. I knew that we had to be very, very tough-minded. We didn't have to be tough on the floor as far as, yeah, you get in my face, I'm going to slap you, that kind of deal. We didn't have to go out and try to punk anybody, but mentally we had to be able to overcome anything that happened inside the game and say, hey, let's keep going, let's keep pushing, keep your foot on the. So that's what I constantly try to tell them every single day, every single practice. Hey, listen, I don't care what's going on right now. We need to be prepared to keep pushing the gas so that we finish the game that we're supposed to, the way that we're supposed to finish it. And whether we're down 10 or whether we're up 10, that's the type of team that we need to be. And again, that's the piece that's missing for North Carolina. They're up 10, they play sloppy. They down 10, they play sloppy. And so that's where you're kind of trying to figure out exactly what's going on, I guess.
So does this team lack a leader?
Unfortunately, because I don't want to say yes, but the proof is kind of in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to say yes, because I'm not there every day at practice. I'm not there like watching them every single day, like the coaching staff and like they are, like the other players are. So there could be a guy that has stepped up and said, hey, listen, this is the way that we need to play. It's just not translating to the floor every single night the way that we want to see it. So I don't want to say yes to that question, because I believe Garrison is a great leader. I believe Leaky is a great leader. I believe even some of our young players can step up and be the players that they need to be. It's just not being consistent enough.
And how do you fix it? Like, how do you fix this?
You just keep playing. Like as simple as that sounds, you keep going to practice every day. You keep harping on some of the things, all of the things that you've been harping on all season. Like Coach Williams said in his press conference, he was like, he didn't like the practice the day before. And that's real. That's real though. Like, because as a coach, I could remember practices at Southern where if we didn't practice well the day before the game, I was kind of nervous going into it. Didn't matter who we were playing. It could have been one of the bottom teams in the league. It could have been one of the top teams in the league. It didn't matter who we were playing. If we had a terrible practice the day before, I was kind of nervous going into the game the next day, simply because I didn't want that fog and that negative kind of like feeling to kind of spill over into the game. And sometimes it did. Sometimes we were able to wake up after the first quarter. Sometimes we were able to wake up after halftime. And sometimes we didn't wake up at all. So those are the type things that you deal with as a coach, and you try your best to kind of coach your team through it. But at the end of the day, that's the lack of power that coaches have. I've always believed that coaches coach in practice, but they make adjustments in the game. So you coach in practice and you make adjustments in the game, because that's where you get your everything that you want out of your team in practice.
Now, for people, or going back to Coach Williams' question concerning fans all over social media, and I was trying to defend it, but apparently my answer wasn't good enough. But defending this Marquette scheduling, because apparently, a lot of people were like, why would you schedule a non-conference team? Why not just, go with, what you have on the schedule already? Just feeling like this loss was avoidable. And my reasoning was, for one, Coach Williams is going to play. If there is anybody who's going to play, it's going to be Coach Williams. I mean, there have been tons of conferences where he said opting out is quitting, that it wasn't a choice for him, that he wants to play, and he wants to play the full 27-game schedule. If he can win 27 games, that's what he's going to do, especially at home. And the strength of Marquette's schedule, I think people looked at their like you said, their record and thought they were a trash team. But when you look at the strength of their schedule, it's comparable to teams in the ACC. Like they're a team that can mirror a really good team in the ACC. So it's not like he just got some bum off the street. That's an easy win. No, this was a team that he felt was a good comp to what was lost. And
it wasn't necessarily a good comp to what was lost, because we'd have probably beat the fire out of Boston College. Right. But
considering, he didn't make it easy on himself. This wasn't an easy win-in type of game. And I don't know. I just feel like ACC or non-ACC, if Carolina's going to lose, they're going to lose. Like you said, it's inconsistent. You don't know what type of team. Was this game necessary? Should Coach Williams have just let this game slide, like not even schedule it?
So that, like, it's crazy, because, like, as you were asking the question, I was like, yeah, this game that probably was avoidable, but I also like him challenging his team. Like, so yes, the game was avoidable. Like, you didn't have to play this game. You well met the 13-game minimum that you need to make the NCAA tournament. So yes, absolutely, the game was avoidable. But I absolutely love the fact that you go out and you get a team that, again, record-wise, again, for the people, for the masses who don't necessarily pay attention to all of college basketball, you only pay attention to your team. I absolutely knew that this was going to be a tough game for North Carolina. Like, I've watched Marquette all year, and I've watched him over the last couple of years. First off, Wojo is a really, really good coach. And then second off, this team and the teams that he's had before, like, I absolutely love that point guard. DJ Carton is an absolute monster. He's transferred from Ohio State. But, like, the kid Garcia, good. The kid John, good. The kid Elliott, good. Like, I've watched them all season. And I've watched them lose close games. A lot of the games that they lost were close. Like, so like, their record didn't necessarily speak to the team that they were. And again, we spoke to the fact earlier, Wojo coming back to North Carolina, him being a Dookie, there was extra incentive on top of it. And what I think is Coach Williams knew the magnitude of it, but the players didn't. And so the players go out thinking, oh man, they 5-5 and they 10th in the, and what happened? Wow, you get punched in the mouth. You get punched in the mouth. So and so I'm okay with Coach Williams challenging his team, because guess what? That's the team that you might see in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Because guess what? You ain't gonna be no 1 seed this year. You're gonna be a 15 seed. You're gonna be in the play-in game. So if I need to challenge my team, absolutely do so. I'm okay with it. And I get it. The fans are fans. And he even said in the press conference, heck, if he knew he was going to lose the game, he wouldn't have scheduled it. But I don't even like that. I'm going to schedule the game regardless. Whether we win or lose it, we got to go out and play. We got to go out and compete. And that's the thing that this North Carolina team has done inconsistently on a consistent basis. They haven't showed up to compete. The only game they showed up to really compete was the Duke game. And again, sloppy play turned that into a game that shouldn't have been close. But we'll see. We'll see what they continue to do down the stretch. And again, I think I'm a little bit more passionate about it because, like, I'm a former player, like, and I know what's going on, and I see, like, the potential of this team, and the fact that they're not living up to it, like, hurts a little bit. It touches a different place in me than it does for fans. But at the end of the day, like they just got to keep playing. They got to keep playing.
So when you're looking at this team and you're taking into account last year, as a coach, how does it weigh on you feeling like I'm not going to put that on coach, but I know how I would feel because he's been blaming himself the past couple of years. You know, he's being out coached and things like that. And how do you feel as a coach? What the last couple of years have just been inconsistent. There hasn't been any type of solid ground. It feels like.
I think for Coach Williams, I hear, so as a coach, you also understand, and especially how long that Coach Williams has been in this game, like he understands sometimes you're going to have a good team that underperforms. Sometimes you're going to have a bad team that overperforms. And sometimes you're going to meet it in the middle. Your good team do what they supposed to do. Your bad team do what they supposed to do. So I think from a coach's perspective, I think the biggest thing that I think he may be battling with is continuing to have kids that he can continue to touch and coach. Now, again, off the floor, I'm sure he continues to touch their lives amazingly. He can be, somebody you can go and talk to and all that kind of stuff. But on the floor is kind of where you see, and I don't want to call it a disconnect because there's no disconnect. It's just more of them getting to the point to where they're doing everything that he wants them to do on a consistent basis. And so over the last couple of years, what you saw was, and again, this is just in my opinion, I just feel like one, the talent level hadn't necessarily been developed the way that it possibly could have. And that's for me, that's on coaches and player. And then I think there's a bit of normalcy when it comes to these blue bloods being great all the time. So now when we see them not being great, it's like, oh my God, what's going on? Like when it really ain't nothing going on. It's just oh Jesus, all the blue bloods, they ain't what everybody panicking. And I don't think it deserves that much of a panic. It's just a down year in college basketball, a COVID year in college basketball. There's so many like other things that go into, especially this year, that you just can't account for. So honestly, bro, just like the NCAA ain't counting this year, I ain't counting this year either. Other than the fact that we beat them bums twice. Now we beat them bums twice. You definitely know both of them getting counted. But all of them other games, bro, I don't count these jumps.
So when you're looking at this team and the possibility of them taking their games to the next level, is there anyone that's standing out like, yes, you need to go, like you need to go? Because there has been a debate about, who stays and who goes. Is anyone ready for the NBA at this moment?
I don't think any of them are ready, but I think Day'Ron has to leave. I think before now, I would have said Armando should have left or should leave. And I ain't gonna lie, the Armando, like these lads, as much as like the more we keep talking about it, it's a little bit concerning to me.
Yeah.
Like you've had some major news over the last couple of days of like guys throwing their names in the transfer portal and all that kind of stuff from different schools. And like as much as, and again, North Carolina rarely has transfers. And I'm not putting it out there like Armando is going to transfer or anything, but like if you are going to do so, like this would be the perfect year to do it. And I just don't think that kids nowadays like tough times. Like They want everything like peachy keen, you know, cloud nine, everything handed to me. Like tough times, bro. When tough times come, jokers get the running. So I'm a little concerned, you know, by that. But at the end of the day, you know, we'll see.
Let me see.
It just said I just had a message come up on my phone, said North Carolina dropped 11 spots.
I haven't even gotten that. I'm trying to find Armando's where he's been the last couple of games. Let's look at his points. Yeah, since Duke, but he did have 1 point at Clemson. And then Duke, he turned around and had 16. But in Virginia, he had 7. Northeastern, he had 9. And then Louisville, he had 14. And then today's game, he had 3.
Yeah.
So when you hear those numbers, is it as concerning, or is it just, or has he just been kind of on the quiet side?
I think he's just been on the quiet side. Again, you got 16-6 against Duke, 7-10 against Virginia, 9-8 against Northeastern, 14-9 against Louisville, and then 3-5 in 13 minutes. Now his minutes have dropped dramatically since that Duke game. So you go Duke, Virginia, where he's at 25 and 24. And I don't know if that's, so let's see. I don't know if that's because, well, yeah. Shoot, yeah. When you look at Dayron, the Northeastern game, Dayron was 15-8. So you see how his minutes, they kind of split minutes that game. The Louisville game, 21-7, and then 9-11. So again, just as we talked about how I was saying that I didn't think Garrison would win the player of the year simply because not because he's not talented enough, but because of who he had in the same position as him. And on top of that, Walker Kessler is starting to play a little bit better. So I get the minute thing, but him taking 4 shots, I don't like that at all. I think he has to be a lot more aggressive when he touches it, and then just kind of go from there. But I don't know. Well, now that I look at the numbers, no, it's not that concerning.
Okay.
Not that concerning at all.
Okay. So do you change your stance on him needing to leave, or does he still need to stay?
Oh no, I still think he can. I still think he has the potential to be a guy. It wouldn't surprise me if he like tested the water this year. That kind of deal.
Do you think Caleb tests the water, or he leaves? Because that was for sure the one and done that we all thought, this is it. Just enjoy him for the year that he's here and not forget about him, but let him go. Does Caleb rethink his position in staying the next year? You know what? I would not be surprised, and I'm not saying this to be problematic or anything like that, but I would not be surprised that if Caleb does decide to stay another year in college, that he transfers.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't think I think if Caleb leaves, he leaves. He's going to the league. Is it you don't I don't think he transfers because because he's such a highly touted player, or he was a highly touted player coming in. Has his stock dropped a little bit? Absolutely. But I do still think he is an NBA talent. Like he can guard with the best of them. The Joker's about 6'3", 6'4", legit, like long arm. And he can score it now. Like he can score it. Again, I know it just hadn't been the way that you would have liked it to be as far as fans are concerned on a consistent basis with Caleb, but I don't know. But I think if he leaves, it's absolutely he's going to leave for the league and not transfer to another school. Because now you throw you throw the same kind of thing in place. Like, all right, if I go here, will I be successful? Like, will this coach let me rock? Or, you know what I'm saying? That kind of deal. So,
so when you're looking at the talent coming in, you have your DeMarco, and then you have your Dontrez Styles, your DeMarco Dunn and Dontrez Styles. DeMarco is out of Kinston, and Dontrez is from Arizona, by the way, of Fayetteville. There has to be some space somewhere. Something has to get shifted. Because that's just what do you do with the roster like that next year? If we keep this exact same roster, I mean, because I'm not worried about the center position because we have 30 million of them at that position.
Right.
But when you're looking at, next year, I'm assuming PJ comes, or Puff, excuse me, PJ. Puff comes into play. And you have your DeMarco, your Dontrez, and your Kerwin still. I'm assuming RJ takes a point next year because I think next year this is RJ's team. And I think
I agree.
So when you look at, I don't know where I'm even going with this question, but would it be problematic if Caleb stays because of the extra talent that's coming in? And it won't be okay.
No, and here's why. Like, it ain't like you got like these guys aren't McDonald All-Americans one and dones talent. You know what I'm saying? Wise. So it like if they got to come in this year and sit on the bench, it's just what it is. Or you come in and you prove yourself and be like, yeah, no, these my minutes now. You're gonna find some minutes for me. And again, that can happen.
Yeah.
Like kids can come in and be dogs and outplay whoever's in front of you, and now you're that guy. And that's okay. That's healthy competition. Like that's another one of the problems nowadays too. Like kids are like, hey, yeah, coach, thank you for recruiting me. Who else you recruiting?
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
Yeah.
Like, why does it matter who else we recruit? Like, come in, battle for your time, and get better. Like that should be the blueprint. But at the end of the day, I think with the current roster that we have, of course you lose Playtech, of course you lose Garrison.
What if Garrison decides to come back? I doubt he does. But I mean that. Okay. No.
I ain't like for what?
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, for what?
There is no reason to come back. But I mean, if your stock isn't what it's supposed to be, you get another chance to try again, I would. I wouldn't. I sure wouldn't. I would just go on.
There you go. Go on about your business, baby. Like, but if you're gonna play, and yeah, and this is here. I think here it is for Garrison, and I'm only speaking about Garrison right now. He's reached his heights in North Carolina. Like I don't think you're gonna get any better than the year you had last year, continuing on into this year. It's just gonna be more of the same. Yeah. So you go, you leave, like you graduate, you get your degree, and I don't even think you go and play a fifth year anywhere else. Like go put your name in the eligible for the draft. You're a senior this year. Go do the workouts virtually, or if they bringing people in now, and see where the chips fall. And if you want to, do a year in the G League, then do that. If you want to do and figure out if you can find a niche in the NBA, do that. Or go overseas, get paid, get your money. Like, see if you can get a two-way or something like that. I just think for Garrison solely, I think he's reached his heights at Carolina. Again, as fans, do you want somebody that solid to stay? Absolutely. But it ain't about us. It's about him and his life and what's best for him. And I think this being his last year at Carolina is probably best.
Should Coach Williams, because I like RJ, and I think I don't think he's getting the time he kind of deserves. I don't know why, but is it time maybe these last couple of games, maybe you start RJ at the point and see what happens? I know it's a little late to kind of change up the lineup because he's had his Leaky, Armando, Dayron, Kerwin, and Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
That's his starting. Or Garrison, not Dayron, excuse me. So I know it's a little late to kind of be finicky with things, but does RJ deserve a chance to kind of showcase what he has, at the starting position and see what happens?
The reason I'm going to say no, and as I'm saying no, I'm kind of rethinking that. I'm gonna switch my answer. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. I'm going to say yes. It is time to give RJ the keys. No, I'm finna back up. I'm finna back up because you don't know if Caleb is actually gone.
Mm.
And so if you give RJ the keys now, then that's almost essentially saying you pushing Caleb out the door.
Mm.
But if you want to like build for the future, you give RJ the keys now. You see what I'm saying? Like you put him in the driver's seat saying, like, this is gonna be your team moving forward.
Yeah.
So that's a tough call for a coach though, because you don't want to start saying, all right, yeah, this season is over. Like, we ain't really gonna do much with it. So yeah, RJ, here go the keys kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a thin line right there. So I think you walk it delicately. I think you kind of stick with what you're doing. So yeah, so my answer will essentially be no, right? My answer will essentially be no.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do.
Yeah. So that's tough. That's a tough call. I wouldn't want to be in that position.
I wouldn't either. I get what you're saying though, and I get what that looks like in optics, perception, what it looks like, and how that could kill a kid and what that says to him. And I get it. You're right. So Florida State on Saturday.
We got to shoot the ball well. like for real, like it all comes down to if we can shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. Like if we're gonna continue to go, what were they the other day?
25 and 60.
5. Who?
He's on 25 for 60.
No. 3 from 3.
Oh, from 3, 5 for 18.
Yeah, we're gonna go 5 for 18. We gotta make some shots. Like, we put up 70 points the other day, which ain't bad, but we gave up 83. Mm-hmm. So we gotta defend and we gotta make shots. Marquette did a great job of keeping us off the offensive rebound too. Like I think we only out rebounded them by like 1 point, mainly because they was making a bunch of shots. But at the end of the day, like, we got to rebound and we got to make shots, defend, make shots. Like, that's how you beat Florida State. Because, and when I say defend, I'm talking about one-on-one, like, get down, guard your man. And on top of that too, like, we overhelp way too much. Like, I'm watching the film like, golly. Like, when I say like the closeouts are extra long, like, we ain't never there on the catch. Like, there's a lot, but at the end of the day, in order to beat Florida State, we are going to have to defend and we are going to have to make shots. And again, that has been I think the Achilles heel of North Carolina this season, especially when it comes to playing teams that are better than us. Yeah, that's what it's gonna have to be, but we'll see.
Okay. So yeah, Carolina plays Florida State at home, maybe with fans.
They letting fans. Oh yeah, didn't they lift like all of the restrictions and stuff?
About I think it's at 30% or something. So about 3,000 fans can come to the games. But if I'm Coach Williams, ain't no fans coming in.
Yeah.
Of,
Just simply, yeah.
supporting you with how we've been playing. I mean, and that may be a little.
But that could win you this game though.
You're right. It could. You're absolutely right. But
yeah, just having a fan base in there, hearing some cheers, like it could win you this game.
Yeah, but I don't know. I would be a horrible coach. Ain't no fans until I see something different. I'm not rewarding you for something that you haven't done yet. But I do, and plus I know I would be a horrible coach. But I do also understand that this is for the freshmen, this is an incredibly important moment for them because they need to experience this is what you sell Carolina with. You sell them with the fan base. And that alone and if they ever get paid for their name, image, and likeness, that alone gets you money. And that's a selling point for any coach with a large fan base. This is money alone. Carolina fans are diehard, they're lifelong fans. This isn't something that's, after you're gone, it's done. This is
right.
The rest of your life.
These generational fans.
Absolutely. So yeah.
I'm a fan because my daddy was a fan kind of deal.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it will be important for freshmen to finally get to experience what Carolina truly is with their backbone. So yeah. I guess
but it still won't be at full capacity. So like you'll get a taste of it. And I'm sure they understand. They were there on visits and all that kind of stuff. So they know what it's like. But at the end of the day, like for you to be the one being cheered for this time, I do agree that is something special. And I hope, like, even if it is 3,000 fans, like that they are able to like just appreciate it. And again, hopefully that can give them some type of energy, some type of reason to come out and compete at a different type of level than they have all season. Or continue to compete at the level that when they are playing their best, to continue to sustain that. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough one Saturday, but I do think this team is capable of doing it. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, they play Saturday at 4 p.m. And Scotty Barnes will be in the building. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a really, really good game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a wrap for me. I like your shirt.
Thank you. Lamar, he did his thing on this one too. Carolina season. Hey, I said my man Vito hit me up the other day, said he's gonna send me a package. I'm still waiting. I can't wait to get the package. You know what I'm saying? I'm
tired of you getting all the good stuff. You get all the good
talking about.
No,
you got all the good stuff.
You got all the good shirts. I'm gonna have to talk to Lamar and my hoodie and my Carolina.
That's because I was supporting before the support came in. So, I got a couple extra little things under the set.
Whatever. So, bye, David.
I'm just saying.
Your babies.
Yeah, these jokers. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we out.